What's up guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play series for the Outer Worlds. In this episode we're going to be helping out a guy named Silas, who is the local gravekeeper. A few of the Edgewater residents are a little bit behind on their fees, so that means that we're going to be going around and collecting them. Hope you enjoy, and please remember to like and subscribe.
Lovely to see you about, Miss Parvati.
Things going all right, Silas?
Been keeping him careful and true, miss.
What the heck are you talking about, Silas?
Best to ask her yourself.
My dad's buried here. Silas watches over him when I can't leave the house.
Oh damn, I'm sorry, Parvati.
Oh. Well, thanks.
Something I can do for you?
Yeah, if you still need those fees collected, I'm willing to help.
4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Why is Abernathy a special case?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Where can I find all these people?
Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
Okay, we'll be back soon. We'll go and find Ludwig first because we know exactly where he is. I went over and talked to him and started his quest actually, but I just wasn't able to finish it. We'll definitely be doing that mission in an episode or two. What I think is the issue there is that there really isn't too much combat involved, so a lot of people are probably going to find it boring. What it lacks in action, it definitely makes up for in terms of quirky characters and a funny story. So if you're into that, you'll definitely find it enjoyable.
Never seen the Vale lit up like this before.
I've got some bad news. Silas sent me. You owe him your gravesite fees.
I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling.
He sure did, and he's asking for a little extra to furnish the resistance with mechanical repellent.
Mechanical repellent! A stroke of inspiration from the law itself. Here, I've been saving up a couple of bits for just such a project.
2 bit cartridges, that's it. We're out of here. And the rest of the people should be inside Edgewater, so I'll see you guys once we get inside. Alrighty, now that we're inside, I think the first one we'll go after is the cannery worker. Not the closest one, but the one that's most out of the way. This is going to be our first time in here since the change of power, but overall it looks exactly the same, at least so far. May have to do a little bit of a look around later and see if anything has changed. Hello there, give me your gravesite fee.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
It's time to pay up. I'm here to collect your gravesite fees.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
These papers aren't signed in your name.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
That's kind of you, I guess.
I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
You said this guy shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Must be tough losing family.
Eugene wasn't family.
But I thought you were his closest living relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
You can't be serious.
I'm plenty serious. In fact, I'm a little upset Eugene didn't think things through. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
He was a person, not an asset.
Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
I'll let you get back to your work. Okay, so gravesite fee number 2 officially collected. Who should we pay a visit to now? I think you mentioned a guy named Abernathy and something like a barber? Seems like an odd thing to have in a town like this. People paying for haircuts. You think you'd just do it yourself. Especially when times are tough like this.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy.
Take it easy. Mr. Thompson didn't send me.
And what are you doing here? Visiting? Well, let me give you the grand tour. This here's my domicile, and there's the door.
So you're Martin Abernathy, eh?
What? No. I mean, I might be. That depends on who's asking.
I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just here to collect your gravesite fees, man.
Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows.
Oh, he told me everything. How long do you think you could keep a secret hidden like that?
Sounds like he's already told you. You may as well hear it from me. I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching. And soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies.
Don't say that, Mr. Abernathy. You still got a couple decades in you.
I'd steer clear, Ms. Holcomb. My affliction's bound to be contagious. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one.
Yeah. I'm sure this is all very tragic and heartbreaking. Pay me so I can get the hell out of here.
I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help.
Now that's the funniest thing I've heard all day. You can't afford me. What are you talking about?
I'll scratch something together for you. Sell off some of my sundry at Moreau's if I have to. Just hear me out. There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me.
Alright, I guess I'll do it.
You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it.
Anything I should know about this community center?
Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders have taken over. Probably tracking mud all over the archives.
Alright, I think I'll be going. I don't want to catch the plague. See ya.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy.
Okay, last but not least, we have this so-called barber. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, I cut my own hair. But Conrad sells real good disinfectant.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
I can show you my hands, bud. You don't want this smoke.
No, thank you. That's quite all right. I've seen enough body parts in my line of work. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
The reason why I'm here is Silas sent me to collect your dues.
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
So that means you're broke.
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
You have a very loose definition of the word prosperity. This town kinda sucks.
Edgewater is built on the discipline and sacrifice of its people. Say what you will about our town, but we all pull together. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Hang on, medical rights?
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings.
I have an idea. Just give Silas an IOU.
Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
I'll let you know if I think of anything. We'll probably steal some of your stuff as well.
Much obliged.
I'm glad you're okay with that. Let's have a quick look around and see what we can find. Nothing out here. Letter from Phyllis. Conrad. Receptionist shot himself. This is bad. Company's gonna have to call it for what it is. Destruction of Spacer's Choice property. Eugene was an asset and somebody has to pay his body price. This is gonna ruin us. So I was thinking that we could pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth. Heirlooms passed down by his family or something. You're processing his body, right? Just dig around and pry them out. We'll sell the teeth somewhere nice and quiet. Use the bits to pay his body price and no one's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back. In fact, don't talk to me at all. Just give me a special signal the next time you see me. Waggle your eyebrows. Phyllis G. Okay, so now we have that IOU collateral.
What can I do for you?
You sound like you've had some training. I also know a thing or two about medicine.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor?
Only if you use the term doctor quite loosely.
I am a Spacer's Choice certified surgeon, and if you must know, I can stitch a severed thumb with a 58% chance of avoiding gangrene.
I know about Eugene. Why not use his teeth as collateral for your gravesite fees?
You know about Eugene? How?
I found a note from Phyllis.
Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I didn't approve of the idea then, and I don't approve of it now. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave.
That's why I'm sure he won't miss them.
That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's Choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate measures. I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees.
I honestly don't care. I'm just here to collect your dues, man.
Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
I'm told Eugene killed himself. What exactly happened?
Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life.
Damn, and pretty much everyone uses that shit too.
It's a miracle of bureaucracy. If Eugene's death were filed as a suicide, we'd all pay the price for his crime. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
I think that we're going to be leaving now. And that is the last fee we had to collect, which means we now have to report back to Silas. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Things are changing round the Vale. Don't matter much to me, though. Graves still need filling.
Hey, about those fees he wanted.
You run into any trouble?
I'm all done. Paperwork, fees, and signatures.
Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to.
I went on my way for you, man.
And I'll buy you a drink sometime.
I was hoping for something a little bit more tangible.
Oh, suppose you've earned it. One good turn deserves another.
Abernathy was trying to hide his own illness. Isn't that weird?
Abernathy was sick? With the plague? That's disgusting. I shook hands with the guy.
He was convinced you knew, but I'm not sure why.
What? No. If I knew he was sick, I would have had him reported. I needed his fees because of his name. A for Abernathy. He was at the top of my list, you see?
Let me ask you about something else.
Yeah?
The town must be in pretty bad shape if it's keeping you employed all this time. I mean, you're the only one that benefits.
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, braving the wilds.
How are you not worried about falling sick?
Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose. A body grows accustomed.
Alright, I think I'll be going. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy.